Coming up on this week's edition of the Sports Desk, 'tis the season for homecoming games, and El Camino College desperately needed to win theirs against LA Harbor. Cedric Welton has the deets on that one. The Tartars of Torrance were trying to spoil South High's homecoming. Danny Miskell will have that story. The North High Saxons continue their winning ways. Eric Kabak will tell us how. Plus, Cedric Welton tells us what happened between Torrance and South on the high school volleyball court. We'll have all this and so much more. Get ready, Torrance. The Sports Desk begins right now. Welcome, everyone, to the only sports show designed with the Torrance sports fan in mind. This is the Sports Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. I am your host, AJ Vittone, and we'll get to our top stories in just a second. But first, don't forget to interact with us on social media. Remember to share your videos, photos, and story ideas. And remember to use the hashtag TheSportsDeskTV when posting. Hit us up and let us know what's going on, and we'll put you and your videos on the show. After two heartbreaking losses on the road to Saddleback and Bakersfield, you could make the argument that no one deserved a bye week more than the Warriors of El Camino College. You see, both of Elco's losses were very winnable games, and let's just say the team needed some time to erase the pain of letting two straight road games slip away. The Warriors were hoping to take advantage of some home cooking during their recent homecoming game against visiting LA Harbor. Sports Desk reporter Cedric Welton was at Murdoch Stadium for El Camino's homecoming, and he files this report.
It's homecoming season, and we have South Conference action as the El Camino Warriors welcome the LA Harbor Seahawks to the gridiron. The Warriors started the season off red hot, looking to get back in the win column after dropping the last two. Let's see if they can keep their title hopes alive.
I was really pleased with our team. I thought we really got out in front of them in the first half. We had explosive plays, created turnovers. Defense was lights out in the first half.
The Warriors' defense was unleashed tonight. The defense terrorized the Seahawks all night and got after the quarterback early. In the end, the defense finished with 5 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a safety. I caught up with freshman defensive back James Randolph, and he talked about the coach's message leading up to this game.
When we lost to versus Saddleback, he was saying, like, a great team, they don't lose back-to-back, and we was kind of mad and pissed that we lost against Bakersfield, so we knew we had to get this W to get back on track.
Quarterbacks Cole Clayman and Jermaine Gatoy combined for 4 touchdowns on the night. Gatoy talked about the focus heading into tonight's game.
The message from Coach Giff and offensive coordinator Coach Cobb was to get back at it. We're going in a conference, so we basically just wanted to come in conference 1-0 and keep it rolling. We didn't want to focus on the week before. We just wanted to focus on what we're doing now. So we had a bye to everyone to rest and just get back to it.
This was more than a homecoming game. Tonight marked the first Thursday night game for the El Camino Warriors since the 1980s. Athletic Director Colin Preston talked about the decision.
When you're in Southern California and you have UCLA or USC playing on Saturday at the same time as you, I was looking at our schedule. Everybody has the same bye week. I was like, why don't we just play a Thursday night? We get a nice break, and it's not going to hurt our players by playing on Thursday after a bye week. It actually gives us a 10-day rest after, and we're on campus with our students and schools here, and so it really gives us a chance to get all of our student athletes after practice to come out, our coaches, and the student body, and a lot of our faculty and staff who are already here.
I spoke with Coach Lindheim on what needs to happen to finish out the season strong.
After the bye week, we had an opportunity to kind of try and shore up things that we need to get better at and dot the I's and cross the T's. Obviously, we have to get better closing out games, and those were 2 tough games and winnable games in the fourth quarter. But we had to also learn how to move past that. You got to move forward, and that's what we tried to do tonight. And we had some good preparation and some leading up to this game, and we were just ready to get out here. I think you could see it in the first quarter. We were ready to get out here and play.
As you just heard Coach say, it was imperative to get a win after a couple of tough losses, and they did just that, defeating the Seahawks 48-20. Reporting from Murdoch Stadium, I'm Cedric Welton for the Sports Desk.
Cedric, thank you. The Warriors are back in the win column with an impressive 48-20 victory. They're now 4-2 on the season. Jacoby Hardy ran for 56 yards on 11 carries and scored 3 touchdowns. Trayvon Clark had 3 catches for 51 yards and a touch. Next up for the Warriors, the team will travel to Mount San Antonio. As Cedric mentioned in his story, it was a rather unique homecoming game for El Camino, and that's because the team played on a Thursday night for the first time since the 80s. As you can imagine, homecoming means different things to different people, And our very own Cedric Welton asked the Warriors what homecoming means to them.
Homecoming, you just got to come out here and get a win at home. So I feel like it was a great win tonight with all my friends and all my teammates. So I feel like we're going to go to the homecoming dance. We're going to just be happy on this win. We're going to take this one in.
Homecoming, well, basically means like coming back home, coming back to our stadium. We got to get the W, can't lose. And we're just playing as a team.
Homecoming is a special time for any college or university, and this week is our homecoming week. So athletics partners with our ASO, so it's Associated Student Organization, and all of our campus clubs to try to get as much student spirit. Today we had a rally, threw out some T-shirts. Players went out to it, coach went out to it. I was there with some of our staff. So just trying to get the community and get our campus involved and come out to our game, which in my 2 years of football at El Camino, this is our largest crowd, and I think having it on a Thursday night also helped with that as well.
Homecoming is special. Obviously, you get alumni coming back and want to see what you're doing, and so we always want to put our best foot forward for those guys.
It was also homecoming night for the South High Spartans, who are still in search of their first win of the season. South was entertaining the Tartars of Torrance, who are coming off an impressive 48-0 win over Centennial in their last outing. Sports Desk reporter Danny Miskell was on hand for this crosstown rivalry, and she captures all of the excitement in this report.
It's Friday Night Lights and the Spartans' homecoming game night, where they face rivals Torrance High School. Spartans are still fighting to get their first win of the season. This game's mantra was, Tartars want it bad, Spartans getting mad. Tartars move in with aggressive formations, already met with a 4th and goal opportunity where Kyle Self punches it in 7 yards on the return, with the point after to follow courtesy of Dylan Perez, and that remained the only touchdown of the first quarter.
We just worked really hard to work our way down the field, and once we got there, I think it took us 4 tries once we got in the red zone, and that's kind of my specialty, so I just punched it in, start off the game.
Spartans getting angry and firing back at those Tartars. Here comes senior running back Anthony Rugnetta, receiving the kick and driving it up the field all the way to the 45-yard line. Clearly, you can tell they've been working on their running game.
We've really been just focusing around running the ball because, our receivers, we're good as receivers. So we wanted to really work on our running game because that seems to help us a lot. So this whole week we've just been practicing at our line and just blocking and just really had that aggression because, it's the rival school. We got bumped, but still we had that fun and we had that anger in us just to really help us push through it. And that line, they did a hell of a job today.
Tartars matching the Spartans with that same intensity. Here goes senior running back Ethan Myers. He's quick on his feet, and his linemen are clearing a path for his 29-yard reception.
Well, this year has been different. We've been putting a lot of effort in. We want it really bad. And it shows. And our linemen are doing amazing, making great holes, and just doing my part.
We have some different formations that we've put in where our running backs stand off to the side and our linemen block a little bit different, but right now it's working for us, and we got more stuff to come.
More stuff to come, like this play right here in the second quarter. Junior running back Eric Suarez runs the ball 40 yards on the return, but a penalty is called on the tackle. So in goes Ethan Myers to finish the job, and he brings the score 21-0. Tartars are not going to take no for an answer, and Myers had only scored his first touchdown in their last game against Centennial. Now that has quickly jumped up to 3. Tartars said that they had been working hard this summer, and it's showing.
Feels amazing. It feels amazing. I love it. I love scoring. I always wanted to score, and I'm just glad I did.
At this point, the Spartans' aggression is fueled, so out of the woodworks comes a secret weapon. Their freshman running back, Cameron Blanton. Watch him slice right through those Tartars. This kid is fast as lightning, zipping down the sidelines, going 40 yards on the kickoff return.
Cam, he's just a freshman, but he came back today and he showed up to play. I was like, I'm over a slot, and I see him cutting back all the way across the field when the play is supposed to go in this way, and I'm like, what's going on, dude? And he's just bouncing back on the other side, and I'm just like, wow. So Cam was a big help to us today, and he got a big run on kickoff returns.
And would you believe it if I told you he just got back from an injury hiatus?
He broke his collarbone against Fountain Valley in our first week. So this was his first week back, and it was kind of exciting homecoming game, So he got back, and he came to play.
Spartans staying headstrong. Here goes Nash. He sees senior wide receiver Denton Lopiccolo, and the pass is complete. 34-yard reception on the play, and he goes down at the 47-yard line. What a connection.
Fail after fail after fail of trying to push the ball forward. And I looked at Drew, and he looked at me, and we had that look ever since freshman where he kind of like, and I just ran as fast as I could, and I saw the ball, and I jumped. And then I got hit, and it like spun me around. And that's why I didn't go forward, because I had no idea where I was. And then I was just happy to catch the ball and get those yards. Crowd was amazing. Ever since freshman, I've told Drew, just, you see me open, just lob up the ball, and I'll try to make a play on it. And that's really what I was telling him the whole game. The line was kind of fishy there for a little bit, and as you saw, he got hit a couple times. So he didn't really have that he was scared really when they're blitzing through you. So he lobbed up the ball, and I just went up there and caught it and got a couple extra yards after it. And the same thing with all the rest of the receivers.
South's defense did everything they could to hold the line, but in the end, the Tartars charged their way to a 49-0 victory. Spartans given up another game, but they continue to critique themselves and study their opponents. Next up, they'll be facing West.
Really, we just got to make the aggression bigger, because, we want them to be pushing off, tackling. Like, if you saw there, when they're running around, they're not really coming at the ball. So maybe we can kind of, promise them pizza or something to make them work harder for it. And then hopefully next game, we'll not be doing the mistakes that we've been making.
At the end of the night, it was still homecoming for the Spartans, and the loss wasn't going to be the most memorable aspect, not even for Javin Fish.
Friday Night Lights, that's pretty much it. I'm going to remember just being on this field, seeing that, Spartans right there. I grew up over here in South Torrance, so I'm going to remember, I'm just going to remember this whole scene. I play baseball too, I'm going to remember everything about this whole school.
An impressive win for the Tartars, and even in spite of their loss, the Spartans still learned a lot about themselves in tonight's game. Reporting from Spartan Stadium, I'm Danny Miskell for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Danny. The Tartars record their second straight shutout victory. Senior running back Ethan Myers was in beast mode, racking up a total of 135 yards with 75 yards rushing on 6 carries. Myers also finished with a team-high 3 touchdowns, 2 of which were rushing TDs. Junior Eric Suarez had 61 yards on the ground and a touch. Next up for the Tartars, they'll travel to Lusinger, while the Spartans stay at home to entertain West. You may have noticed in Danny's story that many of the players from Torrance and South High were wearing the color pink as a part of their uniforms. And that is because October just happens to be a very important month when it comes to the fight against cancer. Here again is Danny Miskell to tell us why all of us should think about wearing the color pink.
Players from both teams are wearing pink tonight, from wristbands to knee-high socks, to support Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And in their words, it is very important to them to support this cause.
It affects me a lot because I have family members that have passed away from breast cancer, and my mom's best friends, there's 2 of them that have been hit by breast cancer, and it hit us hard. So I really do support it, and I wish everybody would wear pink, especially at these games, because it's very important, because there's a lot of people that have breast cancer. So I personally think it's very important to wear pink and to show support to the people that have gone breast cancer. It's really hard.
According to the National Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation, every year over 250,000 women in the U.S. will be diagnosed with breast cancer, and more than 40,000 will pass away from it. It's the second leading cause of cancer death among women. Torrance High School and South High participate in organizations including Relay for Life and the Making Strides Against Breast Cancer Awareness Foundation. These young athletes are more than happy to join the cause and raise awareness.
We just know that a lot of families out there suffer from breast cancer and other types of cancer, and we just wanted to show that as a team we are supporting those who need it and need just all the support in the world right now.
It's more just as much support as I can show just even by wearing a color. Really, I'm just of course going to support it. It's a big cause that I feel strongly in, and as you can see, I'm kind of pinked out right now, and it's just I love just supporting people.
Danny, thank you for that report. Just so you know, throughout the month of October, Danny Miskell will have more examples of how Torrance area teams are supporting breast cancer awareness. So be sure to stay tuned for that. All right, it's pretty safe to say the Saxons of North High are the toast of Torrance right now. The Saxons have won 3 straight. boast a 5-2 record, and are 2-0 in league play. Fresh off their win in the rivalry game versus West, the Saxons returned home to host Lusinger High School. Sports Desk reporter Eric Kabak was there, and he files this report.
Thanks, AJ. What is going on, Torrance? We have a super matchup tonight between 4-2 North and 3-3 Lusinger. Both teams come into this game with 3-game winning streaks. Last week, North defeated West in a defensive matchup, winning 3-0. And Lusinger defeated South, winning 35-0. Tonight should be a great game. Nothing beats Friday night lights. We'll pick up the action in the second half. Sean Segala takes the quarterback keeper. Oh, makes the linebacker miss and gets into the end zone for the score. North goes up 33-0. Next Lusinger drive. Jacob Harris says, "That's my sack," as he gobbles up the quarterback. North with the ball now. Segala hands it off to his tailback. Busted up midfield. Takes it in for the score. That's a 30-yard touchdown. And we'll move to the fourth quarter now. Saxons are backed up, but that doesn't matter. Saeed Galloway takes the ball, takes the handoff through the tackles, turns on the afterburners. Look at the big fella go! And he can go off and he stopped at the goal line for Nicholas Kobos, and he gets in for the score. Saxons would go on to win 47-8. I spoke with some Saxon players and Coach Croce after the game.
Coming in this game, we was just looking to get another win. We're taking it one game at a time, and we're trying to stay prepared and focus every week. The line, they did the job tonight, and we just racked up the points. It was like we had to get back from last year because the 68 to 20-something loss we had.
Feels good, when you work so hard and you want things to go right, and God willing they do, and it happens. It's like it feels like yes, like I want more of this, So as a team, we just want more of this, and as a team, we're gonna execute. We're gonna prepare just like we do.
But our offense was just clicking and didn't make the mistakes that we did last week, and it was nice to see our guys up front do a solid job for us. Hopefully that'll get us ready for whatever comes our way, because they're not going to be easy.
What a game for the North Torrance Saxons. They escape winning 47-8, and they leave tonight on a 4-game winning streak. Next week, they will see Centennial right here at home. Reporting for the Sports Desk, I'm Eric Kabak.
Eric, thank you. Saxons win big once again. How about that? 47-8. Like Eric said, next up for North, they're back at home to entertain Centennial. The Knights of Bishop Montgomery found themselves back at home, hosting St. Anthony. Knights hoping to secure their first win of the season. And as you're about to see, they would have their hands full and then some against the Saints. First quarter, 9 minutes left, no score, no more. St. Anthony's junior running back Markel Sales is on his horse, and he goes 60 yards for the touchdown. Saints up 7-0 at that point. Wow. Same quarter. 5 minutes to go now. Same score. Wouldn't last. Saints senior QB Deshaun Harvey scrambles out of the pocket, and he's going to do more than just the everyday scrambling. He's going to take it all the way to the house. Well, that's a touchdown in any language. Nice run. 14-zip Saints. And if you're the Knights, when it rains, it pours. Because, unfortunately, there was more where that came from. Senior running back Jalen Jefferson. He'll run it in now for the Saints, and St. Anthony wins big by the final of 50-7. With the loss, the Knights fall to 0-7 on the season. Next up for Bishop, they'll be back at home to entertain St. Bernard. Elsewhere in high school football, the Warriors of West High improved to 2-5 on the season with a 52-0 shellacking of Centennial. The Warriors are now 1-1 in league play. Next up for West, they travel across town to battle the South High Spartans. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout here on the Sports Desk, but whatever you do, don't go anywhere because you won't want to miss this. Coming up next, could the South High girls volleyball team pull off the upset of Torrance? Cedric Welton will have our answer. Plus, North battles West on the volleyball court. Stay with us. We're coming right back at you.
Hi. Hoping for a crisp breeze to help keep you alert. Oh, he took a sip of water too. That'll probably help. You were probably gonna turn down the radio too, so you could focus, right?
Probably okay isn't okay.
Right.
If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
I think the water line is what really drove it home. I blew on him.
Listen.
All it took was someone who would insist that I just try.
Suddenly, everything was turned around because they judge you.
You tell them, I don't need this.
No one is going to understand.
Unless they've been through it, how can they?
Then one day you realize
You feel so hopeless.
I need help. I need help.
You feel so hopeless.
Then one day you realize
Unless they've been through it, how can they understand?
I don't need this.
No one's going to judge you.
suddenly everything was turned around because they insist that I just try.
All it took was someone who would just
Listen.
Welcome back, everyone. Remember to follow us on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Share your story ideas, post your photos and videos. We want to hear from you, Torrance. After all, this is your show, so be sure to get involved. All right, the Torrance High School girls volleyball team had won 3 straight matches before entertaining South High recently. The Tartars won all of those matches, by the way, in 3 straight sets. The last time the Tartars lost a match was to South High when the Spartans beat them 3-1. Could the Spartans be the Tartars' kryptonite? Sports Desk reporter Cedric Welton witnessed this clash of titans, and he has our answer.
We're all set for Pioneer League action as the Tartars host the Spartans in girls volleyball. The Tartars are coming off a 3-game win streak and looking to avenge their loss to the Spartans this past September. This should be a high-flying affair. The early sets showcased a lot of back-and-forth action. Before the game, I spoke with head coach Rochelle Squire about the season Torrance is having.
Finally all clicking. 4 years of hard work. You know, these girls were freshmen when I started, and they've bought into what we're doing here, and they're making big changes, and they're having a great senior year.
The Spartans jumped out to an early lead, winning the first 2 sets 25-21 and 25-23 respectively. They seemed determined to continue their strong league play. Before the game, I spoke with senior outside hitter Bridget Campbell about the progression of this season.
Our season has been pretty good. The more and more we've had practice, the better we've played. And within the last couple weeks, I think we've really shown some of our best plays.
Lots of action throughout this contest. In the end, it was the South High Spartans victorious 3-1. The Spartans are now 5-1 in league play, while Torrance drops to 4-2. Reporting from Torrance High, I'm Cedric Welton for the Sports Desk.
Thank you, Cedric. Big win for South. Now, oddly enough, the Warriors of West High and the Saxons of North High both lost to the Tartars recently, and they were looking to recover from those losses when they played each other at North High School. Saxons entertaining the Warriors with both teams thirsty for wins. Kristen Strauss and the Warriors poised and ready for this one. West won the first set 25-18. Second set, West up a point. Watch North senior Anita Komatsu right there at the net. She's got the stuff dreams are made of. Nice stuff at the net. Komatsu ties the game up at 11. Minutes later, West senior Jocelyn LaCroix serving. Now watch the net. This time it's West junior Kristen Strauss stuffing it back for the Warriors. West wins the second set 25-21. We move to the third set now. This is North senior Lacey Gallagher serving for the Saxons. West sophomore Lily Newhart puts a little mustard on this one. Saxons can't get to it in time. Warriors up 1. Jocelyn LaCroix serving now for West. And this will lead to Lacey Gallagher, who you will see right here just slam at home. One of her team high 11 kills. North comes back to win the third set 25-16. West trying to regroup now. We move to the fourth set. North High junior Jessica Walker serving up one of her 2 aces. And just like that, Saxons take a 2-point lead. Erin Green serving for North. Watch this volley here. It's going to end up with Kristen Strauss bringing home the pain with a nice kill. West retakes the lead. West junior Lauren Tham adds an ace for some insurance. Warriors win the fourth set 25-14 and win the match by the final of 3-1. Afterwards, plenty of words were spoken.
I think we have gotten a lot better with coming back. We struggled with our passing and digging in that third game, and we were able to come back with our serving, and we got a lot of aces. We're doing a lot better this year offensively with our hitting, and our passing has gotten a lot better, so hopefully this year we'll win CIF and league, hopefully.
Last year, West, they crushed us both times we played them. And it felt really good for me to take a set off of them. It really helped, and I know it helped our team. And I know our next practice, we're not going to let this happen again.
Elsewhere in girls volleyball, the Knights of Bishop Montgomery pitched their second straight shutout with a 3-zip victory over Sarah High School, and the Lions of Ambassador High won in straight sets as well. In college volleyball, the El Camino women proved that they're human after all. The 9th-ranked Warriors lost their second straight match recently, falling on the road to 15th-ranked Miracosta in straight sets. Despite the loss, Aiko Waters notched another double-double with 13 kills and 13 digs. She also added 4 aces. Jalen Motley also added 13 kills to go along with her 8 digs. The Warriors dropped to 11-4 on the season. And speaking of the Warriors, the men's soccer team played to a draw against Pasadena City College. Jason Santana scored 2 goals within 5 minutes to bring the Warriors back to life. Despite the loss, goalie Cesar Amezcua finished with a game-high 10 saves. As for the Elko women, they won their 4th straight with a 3-zip victory over Pasadena City. The Warriors scored 3 first-half goals, one of which from Isabel Gutierrez, who notched her 2nd goal of the season. Kelly Gallagher finished with 4 saves. Well, that does it for this week's edition of the Sports Desk. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, we appreciate your support. My name is AJ Vittone, and I've seen, heard, and said enough for 1 week. We'll continue this conversation again next week, I promise. Until then, don't forget to follow the Sports Desk on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And remember, you can email us as well. We'd love to hear from you. That's all the time we have, sports fans. We'll catch you next time, right here on the Sports Desk.